Howdy, little motherfuckers. Did you miss me? I bet you didn't. Anyways, rule number 7 in our series 12 Rules for Life. It's not affiliated with the already known. These are my own original 12 Rules for Life, based on my own philosophical musings, as we have been discussing in this very intimate video series. And I hope that the viewer at this point is at least beginning to feel a little bit startled, because constantly you should be asking yourself, who is this man? Who is he? Why is he talking to me? Why is this man talking to me? I don't have the answer to that. Okay. So you're just gonna have to trust me. You're just gonna have to keep watching and keep being amazed at the product which I'm delivering to you guys. Which, I make no claims to authenticity. Okay? My ability is to be illusionary. It's the only thing I have to value add to this product. Illusions, huh? Aren't they just delightful? Aren't they just the thing you crave? Be honest. Be honest. Illusions. And that is what this is. I speak with a certain type of confidence in my words, and it entices you to listen. If I was to be super truthful, I would just tell you, close your computer, stop watching, close your computer for good, forever. Revert back to the most basic technologies. It would be a very short video series, and it would also lose some of its entertaining value in its blatant impossibility. The fact that you're even watching this content means that you're probably lost in a dark hole of procrastination, and you are locked to the screen, because it is the only place where you get to feel relaxed after a long day of drudging whatever. So I'm making 12 rules instead of 1. Sue me. Don't sue me. I can't afford the legal costs. Okay? I'm not doing anything wrong here. Just speaking my mind, with absolutely no competence other than my pronouns, my hat, my pair of shoes, just little old me, and my silver tongue. Yes, that will convince you, and soon that silver in my tongue will coat me in gold. But more on that later. We're at rule number 7. And I hinted in the last video that we now arrive at a crucial point, a crucial philosophical point, where we depart from merely describing shit that is around us to trying the extremely weird and autistic task of trying to describe what it means to perceive, apperception. People who are presumptuous tend to think of the world as a thing in which there is another thing, human being. But you would never know of world and human being if you didn't first experience it through your first-hand experience, which is your only experience of life. Okay? everything you have ever seen carries with it that tiny outline, that tiny transparent outline of your nose. Okay, you're seeing everything through a pair of eyes. Okay, so if you later learn in a book about the word world, that doesn't mean you now have knowledge of a thing called world, because you have never ever experienced being separate from the world. You have always been in the world. And so you cannot naturally separate being, qua being, from in the world. Okay, this separation is the primary illusion. And this is what is attributed to Descartes generally, but I'm sure if one really would like to become a moth full time, one could describe the intellectual currents that led to that, all the way back to probably Zarathustra or Zoroaster. But like, at that point, it gets kind of scary, don't you think? Don't you think that gets kind of scary? Whatever with that. We're not trying to be scary here. Okay, we're trying to be educational. We're trying to be self-help. You know? I'm just telling you to trust me on my word when I say that I'm not Descartes' demon, trying to entice you to doubt everything. I'm just a guy. You know, I'm just a normal guy, living my life the best way I can. Oh, doing squats every now and then to even out the blood flow, because blood needs to flow to the head when you stand up. Okay, that is just a concrete fact. I don't know why anyone would take issue with me saying that, because that is just a concrete observance of nature. But anyway, apperception. So we're at rule number 7, and what is rule number 7? Rule number 7 is ridiculously circular. Life is life. Okay? Life is life. Fuck, where do you begin? Okay, dissecting that. I mean, first of all, I'm gonna be quite honest with you. That is a sacrilegious act. But, you know, because it's 2022 and we all have to pretend that that shit isn't real, basically, you know, I'm just gonna put on the hat of a regular old materialist and do my best at dissecting the holiest of holy. Because, you know, you have to be entertained. Okay, your trough has to be filled up with entertainment for you to consume, so that you don't become discontented. So life is life. Basically. Oh, look at that. This is why I wear headbands, by the way. Because I'm becoming bald. Look at this. This is the ample beginnings of baldness. The decay. Whatever. Whatever, bro. Do you think I give a fuck about that? That just means I have high T. That just means I have high T, bro. What the fuck's the matter with you? Okay, you're not going bald? Got low T? Get the fuck out of here. What the fuck was I saying? Yeah, so life is life. It basically means that, you know, you can't really change as much as you think in the external world. You can't, you know. If you were to take the stuff we've been talking about so far, you might think, oh shit, I'm a beast. I'm ready to hit this shit hard and make my claim to fame. But alas, you'll probably discover that you will come up short, even when you put your heart into it. So, life is life. At face value, someone might conclude that this statement is somehow fatalistic. I, on the other hand, believe that it is a call to rebirth, not in the evangelical sense. I'm not trying to contribute to mass psychosis. But it's a joyful beginning. Let's put it at that. Because it gives you time to realize that in order to change anything outside of yourself, you have to know how to change shit inside of yourself. What? How do you change shit inside yourself? What the hell does that even mean? You know, if you think about it, the whole field of psychology has been trying to explain this to us in scientific terms. But damn, they've been saying a lot of contradictory shit. Seems like their guess is as good as any, to be quite honest. How the hell do you change shit inside? Okay, what's inside? You know? For one, you got that thing which is glued onto your eyelids, that thing that you are seeing reality from, whatever that is. Glued onto your eyeballs, I mean. That perspective that you're always in, where your nose is always kind of there. You know, even how much you get used to looking at a screen, you're always looking at stuff through your nose. Like, you know, you're gonna notice that it's there because, you know, you got two eyes in your head. Told you this was gonna be sound pretty kooky, pretty cooked out, pretty weird, pretty fucking weird. And that's because it is, but it's necessary, you know. It's necessary. Let's go back into the darkness. It's pretty necessary that shit gets weird at this point, because you're basically moving the telescope closer and closer to the sun. And the problem with the sun is that you can't actually look at it because you go blind. You go blind. You gotta go blind. And blindness in the mental sense is essentially madness. Meaning that when you're looking away from the sun, your visual data is processing in a very orderly fashion. But the more you move towards the sun, the more interference happens in your vision. And so, as we speak, the more we're turned away from the sun, the more dry, healthy, logically coherent we sound. But the closer we try to turn to the sun, the more our language becomes interjected with incoherences. In a similar way, as the vision gets veiled when you look in the direction of the sun, with rays and things like this. And so, you know, mystery sounds often like madness because it's attempting to describe the very most essential, the very most fundamental, the very most immanent thing, the primary source of light. Now you got several sources of light through human history. Gotta keep this shit. Primarily, the sun, fires, the moon, and stars. But stars don't really provide that much light. They do light up the night sky. But that's for another time. That's for another subject. So, apperception. Life is life. That kind of means that in your inner world, you kind of mirror what happens in the outer world. So you have the objects that surround you, and then you have your very self. And so in the inner world, you would have your emotions, but then a heart of hearts, a self that is more or less just pure perception of those emotions. But to be in that center is to be at the point where one can navigate one's emotions. And what is that center? Is that pure reason? Pure reason? Not necessarily, because pure reason in the modern context has become incessant production of grounding. So concepts are to be grounded in empirical measurability. Life is an absurd statement, but I consider that to be the truest pure reason. And that this pure perception of life is at the center of one's inner life. And from that center, one can begin the arduous task of changing not external things, but internal things. And then once that is done, then you can begin to contemplate changing external things. So it basically means that, when that song is playing, life is life. Na 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 na. You should be clapping. Okay? You shouldn't be thinking, well, this is a bit silly. You should be going, hell yeah. Sure is. Sure fucking is. Because that is what it is. It is what it is another say that I've heard on the internet. And it follows a similar pattern. Logically, it states just one thing. But, as a phrase, it makes sense. It fits in places. It has a mood attached to it. Same as with life is life. Life is life. Well, life is life. And that's a mantra. That's a mantra for my internet cult, which I'm facilitating through these videos. I'm trapping you in my cult. That is a mantra I want my cult members to be repeating incessantly. Not only as a counter-argument to those who try to turn them away from the cult, but also as a positive affirmation of people within the cult, possibly used as a greeting. Yes. Yes, we will forge a perfect society. No, but in all seriousness, leave a like and a comment. Subscribe on this video, or whatever the fuck it is you say to a YouTube. The usual stuff. To diffuse the tension, there's some tension that builds up in this. delightful tension. I can feel it. Can you feel it? Yeah, that's Seven. Did you ever see that movie Seven? Fuck. That's some gritty shit. Fucking Morgan Freeman's in it. DiCaprio. That other guy, Kevin Spacey. What the fuck was I saying? So yeah. So, and you know, don't dwell too much on the shit. Because you're gonna go crazy if you do. Like, you're gonna go blind if you stare at the sun. So, you know, remember rule 6 as well. Like, fucking hell, just go have a sandwich. You know. Like I said, rule number 1 would be just close the computer and stop watching. You know, enjoy the sunset, taste the rainbow. But you know how it is. I mean, look at me. I'm essentially a bat in a cave. You ever thought of that? Some kind of nocturnal animal using the sound waves to identify my prey. My prey for my cult, which I'm creating. I'm creating a cult. Thank you to YouTube and all the stuff I've been watching on YouTube for helping me make this chimera freak of a performance. It's essentially just me repeating formats of speaking I've heard on YouTube because I watched so many hours of it. I don't know about you, but I watch so many fucking hours of YouTube because what else is there to do, you know? So, life is life. Is rule number 7. We're gonna be moving to rule number 8 a little bit later in the saga. But for now, I think that's sufficient. So leave a like, comment, subscribe. Downstairs, I want to see people in the comment sections just sort of like roasting each other, being lewd. You know, I want to see people post their rap verses that they've been composing, you know. All the incumbent rappers out there, I want to see you guys post lyrical stuff in the comments, you know, possibly freestyling in the comments, in the comment section below. I want to see freestyle battles. I want to see people talking about your mama. You know, I want to see people saying Joe Mama. And you know, pulling that one out. Yeah, you know, just have fun with it. You know, get creative in your comments because I really enjoy reading them. I definitely read them. Promise you I read them. I read them at night when I need to feel validated. So, yeah, 12 rules for life. Let me know what you think about the rules. You know, I'm not fucking, you know, I'm not Einstein, obviously. Even though I share a lot of his traits. Me and Einstein have a lot in common. But that's for another video. Let me know what you think about the rules. Okay? Explain to me. What's wrong with my rules? Okay? And why are you trying to invalidate my identity? You pig. Alright. See you later.